This one technique replaced every short ball return in modern table tennis, but it demands more raw strength than you think. This lesson covers the backhand banana flick. Let me first explain. The banana flick is a mainstream technique in modern table tennis. Don't blindly chase it, but you do need to understand and master it. The banana flick truly tests your overall physical ability. It demands core strength, wrist and finger snap power for gripping the racket at contact, forearm muscle engagement, and lower body strength. What makes the banana flick so effective? Even against heavy backspin, you can flick the ball up. Don't think of it as just a technique. Your physical conditioning must keep up, especially grip strength, wrist strength, and forearm strength. Now let me cover the fundamentals. The most important part isn't actually the hand technique. The banana flick is essentially a loop, scaled down to just the wrist and forearm for short balls.
并不是手上的一个手法，因为其实拧它无非就是把拉，然后缩小到丝，然后再缩小到只剩下手腕跟前臂的一个台内拧。
The power direction is similar to what we covered before: generate force to both sides, never one-sided. The real difference with the banana flick comes down to weight transfer and footwork for short balls. Let me start with proper footwork. When executing the flick, step in with your right leg and press your center of gravity forward. Only by shifting your weight forward can your right foot plant firmly. Power comes from the ground, you push up from the floor. That's the feeling you want.
踩住地的，这样你才能够就力从地生嘛，是吧？从地拔起来、蹬起来的这种感觉。所以说重心，咱们就也不讲太复杂啊。右腿上来，
Step in with your right leg, bringing your weight forward. The kinetic chain goes. Legs drive the hips, hips drive the waist and core, then energy transfers to the forearm, wrist, and fingers. Now, a very important issue: many players try to banana flick on receive, which is natural. But due to insufficient training, they often find themselves out of position, and even when they reach the ball, problems remain.
走上去拧，来，你发一个吧。对，他经常像走上去拧。
Even when they reach the ball, they can't load power because there's no leg coil. The fix is simple. Tell yourself, on every ball, move quicker. Watch, load on your left leg first, push off, then stride in with your right leg. Left leg loads, right leg steps forward. Once your right leg plants, you're ready.
也就是说什么？我先左腿蓄力，左腿一蹬，右腿跨上来。
You can see my leg muscles are driving into the ground. If you just walk up, your left leg never loads, so there's no power transfer to the right leg. You end up pressing down with no real force. This is a common mistake among amateur players and beginners learning the banana flick. Even aspiring competitive players must polish these details. Short ball banana flicks demand high physical ability. You must first learn to sprint in to reach the ball.
我刚其实最开始已经讲了，他对身体是有非常高的要求，高就高在哪？你首先得学跑上去拧这个球。那么跑上去有什么好的？然后跑上去，
Sprinting in gives you more time to find the right timing for the flick. You'll aim more precisely. That's key. Now the second point, which contact point to target. After moving in, there are different contact points. The highest point, that's for advanced players, a power flick. The rising phase is for aggressive attacking. But for beginners just learning the banana flick, start with the falling point. Plant your feet and flick each ball steadily, one by one.
那么我们初学，包括刚开始掌握拧拉，先拧哪个点呢？拧下降点啊，踩住，看没？一板一板，踏踏实实的拧好，哎，很稳定。
Why start with the falling point? Don't try to run before you can walk. At the early descending phase, the ball's spin is weaker and speed is slower, making it easier to track. But it requires you to plant your feet firmly. You're generating all the power yourself. Training this way builds a much more solid foundation for your banana flick fundamentals. I recommend practicing at this contact point, and even in actual match play, this point is very practical.
会更加提升你的一个基本功，拧拉的基本功的一个 状态跟一个扎实的程度。所以说我建议大家在拧的时候练第4点，包括其实实战的时候，你
When
真
you're
正
not
关键时
fully
候
confident
你
in
不是
flicking a ball,
直
the
拉过来
falling
去
point
拧
gives
这
you
个
the
球的
best
时候，那
timing.
么第4点
First,
可能是
you
你
can generate
最
maximum
好的出
spin.
手时机。第一、第
Second,
4
you
点
have
你
enough
能
time
充
to read
分
the
的制造
ball.
旋转，
It's the most
是吧？然
practical
后你有充分
contact
的时
point
间
with the
去拧这
highest
个球，
success
所以说
rate.
它是
Sprint
最
in,
实
wait
用，
for the
然后命
falling
中率最
point,
高的一
pause,
个点
catch the ball.
啊。来第4点
Pause,
跑上去，
catch.
然后
That
等第4
covers
点
the
看没？
footwork
跑上去有个
fundamentals.
停顿，
Now
这
let's
种球
move to the
啊，
hand
停
technique
顿
at the table.
吃球，
With 10
停顿
years of coaching
吃球，
experience, I've
停
seen
顿
countless
吃球，
players blindly
停顿
copy a rigid
吃
arm
球。
frame approach to the banana
那么
flick.
这个讲到了
This is a
基本
common
腿
mistake.
部啊，就是这些问题。那么还有一个就是，接下来我们讲的是一个台内手上的问题。这个时候因为孙教练做了10年的教练，有非常多的这种实战的一种经验，或者说教学的经验，告诉我是什么？有很多球友盲目的去学习抬肘、架肘去拧，觉得架肘。
Some players think the high arm frame looks cool. Everyone wants to copy the pros. But not everyone's body structure suits that approach. If you're tall, say 190, and you raise your whole arm frame over the table, the ball is already too far, your power dissipates. For taller players, the real standard is simply getting your wrist inside the table and curling it inward to load power.
高的球员，你可能只需要一个什么标准？我的手腕能够在台子里面，然后手腕能够窝进来蓄力。
Your arm position depends on your height. If you're tall, just curl your wrist down into the table, no high frame needed. If you're shorter, maybe 160 or 170, then you probably need to raise the arm frame. The standard is simple. Can your wrist curl inward over the table to load power? Don't blindly copy Fan Zhendong's high frame one day, then switch to Bowles' style the next.
你看啊，来8，看到没？能够扭进来蓄力为标准，而不是说我今天看范振东很先进，他今天现在世界第1，走架这么高，然后第2天看到波尔世界第1，波尔这样，就
Don't
不要去
blindly
盲
follow
目地跟
trends.
风。
Find the arm height and contact style that suits you. If curling your wrist in feels comfortable and produces good flicks, don't force a high arm frame. For taller players, raising the frame too high means the ball drops away and you lose power. That's a common misconception. Now another key point, especially for beginners. Aim to contact the left side of the ball first. The direction stays forward, but your racket angle shifts slightly toward the backhand side.
还有一个重点就是我们拧，尤其是初学的拧，先拧球的建议啊，先拧球的左侧，因为左侧会有什么好处？方向都是往前啊，但是我们版型可以稍微的偏反手位，偏
The
右边。
racket angle shifts slightly right so you contact the left side of the ball. This way the racket face covers more surface area. If you just go straight forward, the margin for error is very low. Beginners especially lack wrist power, so they'll get caught by the spin. Contacting the left side while directing forward greatly increases consistency.
那么一样，大家可以看到也是啊，不要
Don't neglect any detail. Legs drive the waist, waist drives the hand. A crucial point about the banana flick. Your fingers squeeze the racket first, driving the wrist. Then the momentum carries into the forearm. Don't lead with the forearm and then move the wrist. That's a common mistake. Squeeze with the fingers, snap the wrist, then push off with your legs.
是很多球友的一个误区，他认为得先手臂上，其实应该就是我最后手腕手指抓完以后，我整个重心一蹬。
After squeezing, the momentum naturally carries the forearm. That's enough. Focus your attention on the wrist and fingers gripping the racket at contact. That alone generates sufficient arm movement. This is the proper, professional way to train the banana flick. I hope this helps you avoid detours and build a correct understanding of modern technique.
现在的一个最先进的拧拉的情况下，有太多的不同各式各样的教学，那么希望大家对拧拉有一个正确的认识。